as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco. Welcome to another edition of Stoppage Time. With me today are Kevin Dolan, Nick Borman, and Pavlos Laguretos. We are going to go through 4 games. Again, a pick'em segment, heavy favorite, a total of the day, and a heavy favorite of the day. I think I might have mentioned that twice, and some promos for you guys as well too. Let's bring them in one at a time. Kevin Dolan, Kev. How's it going? Tell us what you got up today at WagerTalk.
Absolutely fantastic, Carmine. Number 1 at WagerTalk. 60. Oh, wait. Check notes. This is not puck time, right? This is stoppage time. I had the toughest week I've ever had in soccer. I'd say probably the toughest week in about 5 years. It was horrendous. So between December 26th, January 15th, we up 60 units. Went up 60 units, and then I would say I think it's about 27 units down over this last week. So it has been tough, and I look forward to a new week where we can profit again. And I just want to say, don't get too comfortable there in your seat thinking you're going to finish number 1 over 2021, because that was a blip on the radar and coming back.
All right, there's nowhere to go but up. So best of luck to you in February. Starting tomorrow. All right. With that said, let's bring in Nick Borman of WagerTalk.com. Nick, tell us what you got going on and how's it going?
Well, what I got going on is a goddamn foot of snow on the ground outside. I've been shoveling already for an hour this morning, and my back hurts, and I'm pissed off. But I'm here. I made it. I'm happy to come see you boys. Soccer's been great for January. Started off the first week. Couldn't hit a total for whatever reason, and so I kind of abandoned those. And over the month, plus 39% with 2 more winners yesterday on all sides. So I'm going to stick to that for right now while it's working, and hopefully that can continue into February.
All right. Yeah, we haven't gotten the snow there, but as it makes its way up the East Coast, it usually hits north of the border. So I'm sure it'll probably be here in a week's time or so. All right, from Sports Memo, doing his best impersonation of Tom Hanks in Castaway, it's none other than Pavlos Laguretos. Pavlos, what's going on, my friend?
Mr. Wilson, where is Mr. Wilson? Doing great, guys. I won my 5% over the weekend. That's 2 winning weeks in a row with soccer plays. I have increased the client backers by 18%. It's been going great. I'm the number 3 winning handicapper at Sports Memo, and I'm looking to continue that in a very weird week with cup matches. And yeah, I think it's going to go great.
All right. Thanks for that. You're looking for Wilson. I found him for you. He's right here. There you go.
Nice.
With that said, guys, let's get to game 1, segment number 1. This is the Pick'em game of the day. Tottenham, Chelsea. Tottenham is plus 250. The draw is plus 240. Chelsea is plus 110. The total is 2.5, minus 125. This game goes on Thursday. Chelsea picked up their first win of the Thomas Tuchel era, beating Burnley 2-0. Wasn't the most dominating performance, but they held possession most of the game and played well, got that second goal very late in the game. First very big away tough test here against the Spurs side that sits 6th in the league. Kane is obviously out for Tottenham, injured both of his ankles in the last game. And these teams played to a 0-0 draw back in round 10. I'm going to go to Nick first on this one. Nick, give me your thoughts on this game.
All right. This was supposed to be a coin, by the way. I forgot my props as a bottle cap. But either way, that's how I kind of feel about this game. I have no freaking clue. I think it's a coin flip, to be honest. I I don't want to give an opinion out there that I don't really truly believe in, but the truth is I just don't trust either one of these teams right now. Tottenham, they were a team that was just really, to me, clearly overperforming at the beginning of the season. They were winning, but their XG numbers were not that great. So, I kind of saw this downfall as inevitable for them. But Chelsea, they're puzzling to me. I mean, they were playing very well. They were winning. Their XG numbers were top of the league. And then all of a sudden the wheels came off and they can't score. Obviously they're not winning. They fired their manager now. And, I did back them that first game against the Wolves. Of course, they played to a 0-0 draw and I lose. And then they did get the win 2-0 this past weekend, which I believe you were on, Carm. So congrats on that win. So honestly, I'm struggling here, guys, and I don't want to give an opinion on a game I just can't get behind. I'm going to watch it because I'm interested to see who looks better. But I do not like this game at all. And to me, like I said, it's a bottle cap flip because I don't have a coin with me today.
All right, that's 45 seconds of video that we're not going to get back. I really thank you for that one, Nick, but we're looking forward to some other opinions later in the show. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
At first, I thought that Nick was smacking a mosquito on his hand right there. Anyway, Tottenham, as you said, they're missing Kane, and they're not the same team when Kane is not around. Chelsea, they looked great with 2 matches with Tuchel at the helm. He brought back Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso. There were 2 guys that were left out of the rotation, especially in Premier League matches. They both scored. They redeemed themselves with a goal each in the match against Burnley. I don't expect Tuchel to change his defensive lineup. It worked pretty well for him in the 2 matches that he was at the bench. So Chelsea, they struggle to score goals, and that's partly because Werner is nowhere to be found. He's in the lost and found section. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was a low scoring match. I see the under 2.5 goals at -115. And I think that might be the way to go, considering the fact that both Mourinho and Tuchel are primarily defensive-minded coaches. So I think with Tottenham are struggling to adjust in the life without Harry Kane. Of course, they do have a lot of firepower with Vinicius, Bale, Lucas Moura. There are a lot of guys that can substitute for Harry Kane, but no one is actually Harry Kane. So I don't think we'll see a lot of goals in this match. So I'd lean towards the under 2.5 goals here.
All right, that's Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. He's off and running with an 8-2-1 record with 4% best bets at Sports Memo in 2021. You can find him there again at sportsmemo.com. Kev, Pavlos made a great point about this possibly being a low-scoring game. We know that Jose Mourinho tends to against the top 6 teams play a much more defensive game. Sometimes with holding midfielders. What are your thoughts on this game? You think that's a possibility again here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in full agreement with Pavlos. I think it's definitely a play on the under here. That Tottenham Brighton game on Sunday night, that was one of the worst performances I've ever. Talk about Nick's 45 seconds you won't get back. I won't get back those 90 minutes that I sat watching this Tottenham team. They were absolutely pathetic. Just 0.04 XG in the first half of that game. I didn't even think that was possible. I didn't think you could get those type of numbers. 0.37 XG over the course of the 90 minutes. They look completely listless going forward. There's only so much excuses you can make. Oh, we don't have Harry Kane. You still have, 11 full players out there. So, Gareth Bale, it didn't even look like he wanted to be out there. So they were firing shots from long range that basically had zero chance of going in. It was just really poor stuff. But you would imagine, look, this is against Chelsea. If Jose Mourinho has any firepower left, he's going to get the boys up for this one. It's a London derby, and he loves these type of revenge games against former clubs. And Chelsea's the biggest former club where he was ever at, basically. So I'm not going to touch the side here, as Pavlos says. And Nick says as well, can't trust either team right now. But I do like that under. Tuchel seems content to let this Chelsea team play possession football right now. They had 78.9 possession against Wolves, 71.1 possession against Burnley as well. And that's huge for confidence. It allows these players to kind of grow into the game, because this was Chelsea's problem, a team low on confidence. And I think Jose Mourinho will be more than happy to let Chelsea keep the ball. They'll step back. So, as you said, this is what he does against the big teams. And I think they're going to find it Chelsea are going to find it difficult to break teams down until they get this confidence back. So I like the under. I like Pavlos' player.
All right, sounds like I've lost my audio here. I'm not sure. Just give me a heads up if you guys can hear me for some reason. We're going to head over to the Man City Burnley game, which is the heavy favorite game of the
I
day.
think we lost one on
What's
the audio.
going on
Well,
here?
I'll take over for the spot.
Nick, you can take over.
The next game here is we got Man City traveling to Burnley. Obviously, Man City being the big road favorite here, laying minus 1.75 on the Asian goal line. And lots of different ways to look at this game. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any argument from any of us on who's going to walk away as a winner of this one, guys. Well, maybe Kevin. Somehow Kevin will give me a rebuttal. But really, this one's going to be, how do you play this one? Is it a side? Is it a total? Or is it some sort of prop? So I always like to talk about the props. Pablos, let's go to you first. What do you think is going to happen here in this clash?
Well, in the first match, in the first round, I believed that Burnley could stay competitive, and I think I bet on the under 3. I think it was, and of course I was gravely mistaken because Manchester City destroyed Burnley by 5-0, and they have done so. They have destroyed Burnley in the last 4 matches by 3 goals or more. So I think the logical way to go here is the Asian goal line of 1.75 goals for Manchester City. Burnley, okay, they beat Liverpool, okay, they beat Fulham at the Cup, nice. They did beat Aston Villa, which was a tough match, but then they were nothing. They were not at all impressive against Chelsea. They had like 1 goal attempt and no shots on goal. So I think they'll be destroyed by City. Maybe not by a 5-0 or a 4-0, but I think the minus 1.75 in the Asian goal line is, I think that's the way to go here. Manchester City, they'll be missing Aguero and De Bruyne, 2 of their best players, but they got Gabriel Jesus back. They have a great depth in their squad, and I think they'll be able to easily win this one.
All right, guys. Sorry, I lost my audio there, or not my audio. I lost my ear pods. I couldn't hear what was being said. Anyways, to get back to this one, some of the notes I had is: listen, the signs were there for the City squad going a little while back that they were going to start to string some wins together. It's now 12 straight wins, unbeaten in 19. I'm not sure if Nick covered any of this, and they've been a buy team for me. The only problem is you've got to pay a premium with this team. You're going to be laying goals in some games, and this is one of the ones where you're going to lay some goals. My only worry here, and then I'm going to go to Kev next on this one, is or I'm going to go to Nick next on this one, is this a look-ahead game for City? My reason being is huge game on Sunday, Man City and Liverpool. So is this a look-ahead game, Nick, or you think that City puts their best healthy 11 out there and wins this game?
I guess you could always say it could be, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, City could put out their C- squad and probably still beat Burnley. I mean, I think the bet that we have to make here is 5-0 as the correct score, right? Kevin and Carm, I think you guys have talked about it plenty of times. It's hit 4 out of the last 7. It's plus 2,000. See the cashier window. That's the way to play this one. I mean, Man City not to win this game would be just asinine in my opinion. To cover the minus 1.75, the thing about them right now is, yes, we all know they can score, but they are playing really, really good defensively because they control possession, and they're not giving up any goals at all. They have the best expected goal differential in the league by far, by over a half goal better than the next best team. And they just look good. They're just a team that looks like, I don't know. I can't see anybody catching them. I think, it's already a foregone conclusion at this point, unless something crazy happens. I mean, we have the best player in the Premier League out right now. And yes, they have the benefit for them is that it's happening at a time where they have a pretty easy schedule stretch other than Liverpool coming up. So it's good luck for them, but I just don't see anybody catching these guys. For me, it's how do you play it? I mean, there's tons of ways. I'm looking at the combo markets out there. You have Man City and over 2.5 as a good bet. You have Man City to win to 0, which both could cash because Man City could win 5-0, like I said, or 3-0. Yeah, Man City to cover the minus 1.75, cover the first half. I mean, any which way, I think is probably pretty safe. But 13 out of the 14 they've beaten Burnley, and they've beaten Burnley by a lot. So I just can't see anything but a Man City win here, guys.
Yeah, and Kev, I'm going to throw it to you next. One of my biggest things is, when you're looking at these numbers, you see that City are favored by 1.75 goals, yet the total is only 2.75. So they're essentially telling you that they don't really expect Burnley to score here, and the both teams to score. Obviously, for the no is a high negative number. So maybe Nick's onto it with City to win to 0 as far as that goes. Brighton at home, last 7 games, 5-1-1. They tend to play a better defensive game. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, well, I completely agree with the 5-0, plus 2,000, nice price there, just for entertainment purposes. But in terms of an actual play, it is a tricky one. Look, as you said, Burnley have been very tough at home. Their only defeat over the last 6 inside Turf Moor came against Manchester United. So they are a difficult team to break down. But I'm not going to stand in front of Manchester City here laying less than 2 goals, even with 2 of their best players out. I think the prop market is the way to go. Look, Manchester City have the best defense in the league right now. They're giving up just 0.65 goals a game, 0.72 on expected goals against average as well. And they face a Burnley team who have the second worst attack in the league. Again, just 0.65 goals per game, 0.8 on expected goals average as well. So, I'm in agreement with the market. I don't see Burnley scoring here. So you could take that both teams to score no minus 175. As Nick mentioned, Man City to win to 0. But I just like the under. You can get the under 3 here at minus 125, minus 125. And look, I mean, if Burnley don't score, that's a very high line for City to cover on their look. And they've obviously done it with their 5-0 in the past, but it's still a very high number for them to cover on their own. So, as you said, with Liverpool on deck, I don't think Pep's interested in running up the score here. So I like the under 3. I think it might make my card.
Yeah, and if you look at the exact score markets on this, 2-0 City is the lowest at plus 500, and then at plus 650, 1-0 and 3-0. So each one of those keeps it at 3 or fewer goals. So they're definitely not expecting anything from this Burnley side. Guys, it's $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. This is where you can get the hottest handicappers, one of their featured plays, which are normally priced at either $29 or $40. At WagerTalk.com, it's none other than Rob Vino. Over the past 12 months, Rob is ranked number 1 in both profits, total profits, at not only WagerTalk and Sports Memo, ranked number 1 in NBA, picking up plus 117.29 profits and cashing 59% of his selections, going an incredible 143, 102. That's a pretty damn good record. At Sports Memo, it's Ben Burns. Ben's on a 19-5 NHL run, 71.4% profit for backers. And over the last 12 months, he's ranked number 1 in total profits across all sports at Sports Memo. And this season, he's already up 33.9%. Head over to WagerTalk.com and Sports Memo, and you'll find both of their plays up there for only $2. So grab that and give those guys a try. I'll have another promo after featured game, and this is one for the Sports Memo guys. I'll get to that right after we do this totals game of the day. This is Leeds and Everton. Guys, this game right now is I'm going to go to Nick first on this one. This game's the total is at 3 right now. I picked this game because you look at Leeds. Their average games are the highest in the EPL this season, 3.6 goals per game. After lagging a little bit, they've somehow found the net again, scoring 5 in their last 2 and beating Leicester on Saturday 3-1. That was an away win. Everton threw in a dud last time out, losing to Newcastle. I can't remember the last time any team lost to Newcastle, but I have a feeling this has some goals in it. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard not to just look at the over here. I mean, Everton does play to lower scoring games, but if you look closer at the results, they're really playing to the low scoring games against the top teams in the league. Against the bottom feeders, you have games like 5-2 West against West Brom, 2-1 against Palace, 4-2 against Brighton, 1-2 against Newcastle. Although they did, as you just mentioned, Carm lose 0-2 to them this past weekend. 3-2 Fulham, 2-1 Wolves. I mean, you can see the trend is that both teams are scoring, and there's a lot of goals in these games against the lower teams in the league. Leeds, to me, is one of the most exciting teams to watch in this league. I mean, they score. I mean, they score and they concede, and their games are fast paced. Right now, you mentioned the line's at 3. I like getting it at 2.75 just because I think 3-2-1 possibly either way is a likely score here. But I think the over is the way to play this. The game, oddly enough, between these two before did finish 1-0. Leeds won 1-0. But there were 38 shots in that game, 15 on goal, and a combined 4.4 expected goals. I mean, we get half of that amount. All right, maybe a little bit more than half. But you don't even have to get that amount, and this game should still go over the total. So Leeds, number 1 team in the league, 13-7 over-under record, averaging 3.6 total goals per game. I like the over here, boys.
All right, Nick likes the over. I like that. Kev, I'm going to go to you next on this one. In agreement? Do we see some goals?
No. Actually, this is a very strange game in terms of, I've been keeping an eye on this line over the last night or so. And, we seen Leeds go to Leicester, get a fantastic win on the road. I was on the other side, obviously. And then she said Everton lost to Newcastle, which that was ridiculous. I mean, that should have been a slam dunk for Everton at home. So, but this line has actually shifted a quarter goal towards Everton early in the week. So sharp money's obviously showing up and expecting an Everton bounce back tomorrow, which is puzzling because I'm not entirely sure why. Almost everyone on the planet wanted to see an end to 2020, apart from Everton, who were fantastic in 2020. But to start off 2021, they've been absolutely abysmal. I mean, to start off this year, they've had 1 league win all year. They've also got the lowest XG average in the league, 0.54. And we just say they come off that fresh loss to Newcastle as well, who were the worst performing team in the league prior to Saturday's game. So this is an Everton team in big, big trouble here. I can't trust Everton the match line, but I can't trust Leeds either. I think Carlo Ancelotti will have this team set up defensively. He has to, because if you're shipping goals against Newcastle, you cannot take on Leeds in a shootout. And also, Leeds have scored under 1.5 goals in 7 of the last 8 games as well at Ellen Road. So I actually don't think we see a shootout here. This line, you can get it, between 2.75 and 3. I like the under 3. I don't see 4 goals happening in this game. And I think I'm going to take a small piece of the outright draw as well. I like 1-1.
All right. Before we head to final word on this game from Pavlos, hi to the guys in the chat, Money Charts, El Rey, Vito, Trance, 519. We got a ton of you guys in there. Oblivion Sports, guys, hit that like button if you don't mind. Let's get that like count up. Mixed by Post, you as well too. Pavlos, thoughts on this game, my friend? Do we get over this number?
There are 2 ways to look at this. First of all, I was on the over with a 5% bet in the first round. I was very frustrated to see it end as an under. As Nick said, there were a ton of shots in that match, a ton of ways to get the goal, but it somehow stuck at the under. Leeds last season in the championship, they were the best defensive team. They had the fewest overs and the most unders. So Bielsa is a very defensive-minded coach. It looks like the Tottenham versus Chelsea match when you look at the managers. Both Bielsa and Everton's Ancelotti. They're both very defensive-minded. I wouldn't be surprised by hard-fought match with a lot of cards, a lot of tackles. But I personally feel that both these teams owe me from the first round, so I'm gonna jump on the over here.
All right, yeah. When you talk about owing me, in watching that Everton loss to Newcastle, I watched some of that, and I was like, why am I watching this game? I have such a bad memory of their game last year, and that was a game in which I had a 5% play on Everton, and they're up 2-0 heading to injury time, and somehow Newcastle score in the 94th and 95th minute, and that game finishes 2-2, flushing my money down the tube. So I quickly changed to a different game. Guys, before we hit this last game here, which is our line mover game of Liverpool and Brighton, a couple promos for you. The Euro 50 promo is still up. Champions League is and Europa League is just around the corner. You can get your favorite cappers plays, every single play in the knockout stages right up to the finals in May from your favorite capper. $50 off when you use the coupon code Euro50 at checkout. So head over to Sports Memo or WagerTalk.com. Click on your capper page. Find that Champions League, Europa League package on the right-hand side. Click on it and use that coupon code at checkout and get $50 off and get every single play released by your favorite capper. One other promo that I have put together for the show, guys. When we talk about the unlikeliest of duos, and sometimes these things work out great, all right? Think about some of the duos in life. Peanut butter and jelly, hamburgers and fries, bacon and eggs. I've got bangers and mash for you. Nick Borman and Kevin Dolan. 30 days, all sports, all access. Get all of their plays in a 2-for-1 package. Head over to the capper page for either one of these guys at wagertalk.com. You'll find it. Just click on either one of them and you'll get 30 days of both their plays, all in a 2-for-1 package, only $298. I've taken $200 off of that. So that's regularly priced at $598. 2 cappers, 1 great price. So head over to, again, wagertalk.com and take advantage of that deal. All right, guys, we are going to head into this final segment, Liverpool, Brighton. Liverpool's minus 300. The draw is plus 425. Brighton plus 800. And the total is 2.75. I am going to go to Nick first, and then we'll finish off with Pavlos' opinion on this game. Nick, here's my only thoughts. Liverpool couldn't score in 2014. All of a sudden, they've scored 6 in the last 2 games. I'm pretty happy about the fact that they beat Tottenham. That was a 5% play for me, and they beat them 3-1, and we got the money there. Brighton, last 11 games, they've gone 4-2-5, only 2 losses, and those were 1-0 at home to Arsenal and 1-0 away to Man City. They played pretty well defensively, and I'm just worried about Jurgen Klopp and the type of lineup he could put out in this game with Man City on board Sunday. Give me your thoughts.
The one part I love about doing this show is looking back at the week prior and kind of saying, oh, what did I talk about last week? What did I say? What were the games that we covered and how did they do? And, just when I started to shit, excuse me for my language, shit on Liverpool during last week's show and say, I can't back this team and you got to take Tottenham. That's the way to play it. They go out and they wallop Tottenham pretty good, 3-1, and they backed that up with another 3-1 win against West Ham. So I'll admit I was dead wrong on Liverpool, and perhaps they've turned that corner and getting their confidence back. And obviously we know this team can win, and we know in the long run they're going to be near the top of this pack. I still think they'll finish behind Man City, but this game, the issue I still have here with Liverpool is not so much with them. It's just Brighton is a tough team to beat, and when they lose, they rarely do so in blowout fashion. On the year, they have just 3 losses by more than 1 goal, and they've kept themselves in most of the games against the top teams. They beat Tottenham 1-0 this past weekend. They drew against Liverpool already back in November. And then they have a bunch of 1-goal losses against United, Tottenham again, Arsenal, even Man City. So, again, they're just not a team that loses big when they play the top teams. Head-to-head against Liverpool, they have 4 losses and a draw in their last 5, but only one of those came by more than a goal. So the magic number is plus 1.25, which, assuming that is what happens, it's a 1-goal loss. It's not great value. Obviously, you're only going to win half your bet, so it's probably worth a few cents to buy up to plus 1.5. I saw it just as of this second at about minus 130, which I think is a decent price to get it at. Brighton has the 7th best expected goal mark in the league. They're positive 0.31, which is surprising for a team that just hasn't been getting the results. But to me, it's just an indicator that they're not as bad as they seem. And yeah, they're not going to probably win this game, but I think they'll keep it close enough to cover that line. And I actually think Brighton's a way to play it, even though Liverpool do look a lot better the last couple games.
Very good points from Nick Borman of WagerTalk.com. Nick, plus 32.7% so far in 2021, off to a very good start. Let's keep that going, my friend. Pavlos, I'm going to give you the final word on this game.
Yeah, Nick made some very good points. Brighton, they've kept 3 clean sheets in a row in the EPL, which just the second time they it happens to them. The second time they achieve it in their EPL history, which is nice. But I think their streak will probably come to an end against the Liverpool today. Liverpool are winless in their last 3 EPL home matches, and they haven't gone 4 winless home matches in the EPL since I think 2012. Um, Liverpool, they can't catch a break this season. They have another injury to one of their defenders. They did make some additions, a couple of additions to their back line. It might get them some time to be a part of the team regularly and start. Um, Liverpool, they're having a pretty terrible season. I mean, last season in the very same stage they had 61 points. This season they have 40, which is really low considering what they did the previous seasons. Um, Brighton haven't kept a clean sheet against Liverpool since 1993, and as Nick said, they have a high expected goals number, but they have been unlucky. They have 11 shots at the crossbar this season. So all in all, I think I'll go. The best bet for me for this match is both teams to score at minus. Let me see here, minus 110. I think Brighton are good. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. Liverpool's defense is still struggling, and I think that this match starts from 1-1, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, that is Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. Just a couple final thoughts here. I did see a couple things in chat. Someone asked me about the Arsenal Wolves game today. Obviously, Arsenal are favorite in this game. They've been playing extremely well of late. They are 6-1 lifetime at Wolves. This is still one of those games. It's a very tough game, even though Aubameyang should be back in the lineup for Arsenal after taking a couple games off to help with some family issues with his mom being ill. It's still one of those games where Wolves at home tend to play such a defensive game, and they're tough to break down. It's not on my card today, but if I was taking someone, I'd probably still take Arsenal in this game just because they are in better form right now. All right, guys, final thing of business here, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please hit that like button. Just remember, it is $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Head over there and you can pick up a featured cappers plays for only $2. It's Rob Vino, number one in NBA at both sites, WagerTalk and Sports Memo, 117.29 profits over the last year. That is absolutely impressive. And Ben Burns, 19-5 NHL run, 71.4 profits for backers over the past 12 months. You can get their plays for only $2. So head over to wagertalk.com and Sports Memo. For Kevin Dolan, Nick Borman, and Pavlos Laguretos, this is Carmine Bianco saying thank you for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday, 10 a.m. stoppage time.